Quotes from John Flavel. From the Kindle, Deep Christian Quotes and Bible Verses. First quote. Afflictions are God's medicines, to purge ill humors out of your souls. Others have the same afflictions that you have, but they do not work on them as on you. They are both fire for the purifying, and water for the cleansing of your souls. Christ's blood is the only fountain to wash away sin. But, in the virtue and efficacy of that blood, sanctified afflictions are cleansers and purifiers too. A cross without a Christ never made any man better, but with Christ, saints are much the better for the cross. Has God been so many days and nights a-whitening you, and yet is not the hue of your conversation altered? Has He put you so many times into the furnace, and yet is not the dross separated? The more afflictions you have been under, the more assistance you have had for this life of holiness. Second quote. No sin startles less, or damns surer. Unbelief is man's great sin, and condemnation is his great misery. How dreadful a sin is the sin of unbelief, which brings men under the condemnation of the great God. No sin startles less, or damns surer. Unbelief is a sin which does not affright the conscience as some other sins do, but it kills the soul more certainly than any of those sins. Other sins could not damn us were it not for unbelief, which fixes the guilt of them all upon us. Unbelief is the sin of sins, and when the Spirit comes to convince men of sin, He begins with this as the capital sin. Third quote. For what is the hope of the hypocrite, when God takes away his soul? Job 27:8. Nothing more aggravates a man's damnation, than to sink suddenly into it from amid so many hopes and such high confidence of safety. For a man to find himself in hell when he thought himself within a step of heaven, oh what a hell will it be! The higher vain hopes lifted men up, the more dreadful must their fall be. Fourth quote. That they may adorn the doctrine of God our Savior in all things. Titus 2:10. Your duty is to adorn the gospel by your life. The words signify to deck or adorn the gospel, to make it attractive and lovely to the eyes of beholders. When there is a beautiful harmony and lovely proportion between Christ's doctrine and our practice, then do we walk suitably to the Lord of glory. Fifth quote. In hell, where he was in torment. Luke 16:23. The Christless and unregenerate world are in a deep sleep. A spirit of slumber and security has fallen upon them, though they lie immediately exposed to eternal wrath, ready to drop into hell every moment. Sixth quote. A man fast asleep in a house on fire, and while the consuming flames are round about him, having his imagination sporting itself in some pleasant dream, is a very accurate picture of the unregenerate soul. Thanks.